Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. All right, so I want to talk today about Blackwood, and I think it's kind of important that we discuss something because I'm looking forward to it. I still need to get through a lot of my storylines. There's a lot of rave about, Greymore, how well the devs did with it, with the exception of the loot from Harrow Storms. I mean, I like the Harrow Storms. They're probably one of my favorite aspects to the world mechanics. I'm looking also forward to the Oblivion Gates, but there's also repetitive gameplay that is associated with the Oblivion portals and, Spawn Association. But, here's the deal. Like, I went on the forums, and a lot of people are not as hyped as I anticipated for Blackwood. And I think there's a number of reasons for that. I don't think there's ever been a lack of content from Zos. I don't think that's the issue. I honestly don't. I do not feel that is the problem. I honestly do not think, it's because, oh, oh, hell no. What the fuck? Take. Get the fuck out.
How are you all faring? Everyone all
Here.
always told him that name of his would do him no good. I was afraid of that when I saw he wasn't with you. You two stay there. We'll go around to meet up.
Not like we have much of a choice.
Fake tanks.
Battle when you get here.
I don't even. Oh my god. I'm streaming, honey. Oh my god. I swear. If it's not one thing, it's another. It's just the way it goes for me in my life. No. 1 second, guys. Okay. Fake tanks. You deserve it. I don't like fake takes. Oops. I don't care. I am not pulling aggro for nobody. They can kiss my butt. Wrong one. Die again. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. I'm not healing a fake tank. That's not how aggro works. Die. Die, 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 and die again. Die again, and die again. And die again. And die again. I think it's comical. I think it's hilarious. I think it's entertaining, actually. We don't put up with it. We don't. It's a normal DLC. And guess who gets aggro? Healers. Healers get aggro. And I will not deal with it. I will teach this community a lesson. Other healers are doing it too. We're tired of you fakes. If I see a fake, if my tank is fake, they will die. Up. Nope, he's real. 40. Nice.
The keep has been abandoned for ages, sealed by unyielding frost. The locals say that it is haunted.
Thank God, a real tank.
I hope to reclaim my ancestral home. Should ill fortune befall me, I have left these speaking stones behind to tell my tale.
If that person doesn't taunt, okay, perfect. Yes. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Thank Jesus. It's the principle. Trust me. I don't care if I can do it. I'm not going to.
Horrifying
Anyways,
sight.
let's get back to the topic.
Residents of Direfrost Keep appear to have been fleeing.
And I am
but now they're
really,
frozen
like,
and
literally You guys should understand what I have to go through in a day.
All eternity.
Anyways. So, Blackwood's going to be coming out. But the hype's just dying, man. I feel like a lot of people aren't really sold on the whole companions thing as much as I anticipated. Which it comes back down to this question. And let me explain why that is. Because there's the gear for the companions. You can't craft. You can't use the gear from dungeons. You can't, even if there's an item level associated, right? It's impossible. So they have their own specific gear. That means unless they implement more gear, right? A lot of people are just like, well, what the fuck, yo? Right? So it's like, oh yeah, it'll go, but it'll be a dying content. It'll be like, oh yeah, I have companions. Yeah, I use them for this or that, but, you know, I mean, yeah, whatever. Healing bot, tank bot, you know, that's it. And it's like, shit. Other than that, though, I think the story will be good. I think the lore will be good, because it always is. But once again, you can't, it's not about the, people want to be able to customize not just the look, how their companions operate. Not just the role. This is ESO. You guys made this into a proc game. Now they want to be able to utilize the proc sets, you know, to build a unique character. Well, Zosh, you did that to yourselves, man. You kind of like hosed yourselves in that essence. You know, you came out with something that just was like, you know. And I'm just like, oh shit. I mean, I'll be honest. I'll get a companion. I'm not really looking forward to the whole companion. I want the storyline, you know. But when I go in to Blackwood, I don't want it to feel dead. I love Bardenfeld. I love Somerset. Greymore, awesome as well. I still have to play through that storyline, but and I still need to do Elsewhere storyline. But the thing about it is, I feel like the storylines are always good. The dungeon content's always good. What makes or breaks your chapter or your expansion is the feature. And I feel like I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't like the antiquity thing so much. It's okay. Whatever. I mean, it's whatever. I guess. But I don't like the mythic items being locked behind some weird ass system. That to me is a little whack. It's fun. You get some pretty cool stuff, but it's whacked. It's whacked, yo. It's whacked. So that's my opinion. But you know, if you were gonna do something, fuck, I would have made, especially items like that, I would have locked it behind some crazy shit. Especially like PvP mythics, items that were gonna be utilized for PvP should be locked behind PvP. It should be a bloodbath to try to get it. There should be bloodbaths to try to acquire some of this shit. But anyways, I feel like the companions, the problem with the companions isn't, you know what I'm saying, isn't the idea behind them. It's just, in any other ESO game, this would have been awesome. But this is, in any other Elder Scrolls game, this would have been awesome. This is ESO though. Problem with this game, one thing that it doesn't share with the other Elder Scrolls titles is you lock this game behind classes, which no other game has, no other Elder Scrolls game. Yes, it's an MMO, but you have to understand, because you also put a proc system into play here, you kind of hose your player base's expectation what they should be able to do with their companions. I agree. I would rather go with the stat setup. I would rather, you know, ZOS never had implemented a proc system at all, to be honest with you. But they did. They implemented it into the game. I said this is going to be known as the stat meta. Now, there's multiple reasons for that. One thing, your companion is whatever. The scaling system now has to meet over 6-5. Most of your procs are going to go to shit. But ZOS screwed themselves from the get. Right? Putting gimmicks behind a product that was already good. It was already worthy enough. Because it's Elder Scrolls. You didn't have to release some gimmick shit. And because you did it, now you got players like, well, I guess. And it's like, no, it's actually kind of cool because, you know, you'll be able to do all this stuff. Yeah, but I can't make it toxic, right? And what kind of fun is it if I can't use, like, proc sets or something on my companion? See what you guys do. Brian and Matt and Rich. See what you guys do? See, because in the end, this is your fault. This is your fault. This is your fault. Take the blame and say, yeah, we lightweight fucked up here. Because you even have limited sets that have just flat stats. This is your fault. This is where you take your medicine. Because if your projection isn't hitting, right? If it doesn't hit, whose fault is that? It's not the player base. It's how it's literally what you did. Right? It's what you did. You made their expectation too flipping high, man. And, you know, people aren't satisfied anymore. I've said this time and time again. Anytime you come out with any type of expansion or chapter or whatever in any game, you better have features that are going to go across the board. You better appeal to every form of player base. You need to do that. If you do not do that, you're going to miss target audiences. You want to appeal to every little bit of your player base. It's great that they put in the new trials, but to be honest with you, I would be lightweight pissed if I was trial players. I'm not sold on the trial sets except the healing set. I'm not. I only want that healing set. I don't want the stam, the mag, and I sure in this shit don't want that tank set. I don't. And I just think at the end of the day, people are starting to smell the bullshit. And it's like, come on, man. I want this game to be good. The content's good. The content's good. The content's worthy. Holy crap, it's good. It's really good fucking content. Just stop with the gimmicks. Balance the shit. Get the shit under control. And if you're going to do stuff like, you know, companions and shit, either do one of two things. Either get rid of your proc system altogether. Either 86 it, meaning you completely wipe all these procs, which you can't afford to do, or you allow the companions to have acquire proc sets from the dungeons or something and say companion on it, or have a conversion system, because you guys did it. Nobody did it but you. I mean, seriously, I was like, shit. That's what everybody's complaint is. Like, I can't craft gear for my companion. I can't use looted gear for my companion. I can't put procs, like literally procs on my companion. Really? Holy fuck. I'm like Zenimax, man. Do you guys see the problem what you guys do when you make gimmicks? Keep to the content. Make gear that people want to chase for, especially trial players. I mean, they deserve it. Come on, man. Come on. They deserve it. They do. This game, like I said, it could always be the best. The lore's here, the combat's here, and if you get rid of the little things and address things in a appropriate manner, this hands down smokes every MMO in the market. Every fucking MMO. Unfortunately, they will never address these issues because they don't care to. And it will cost them over and over. I don't think it will cost them, actually. You know what I see happening? I see people losing jobs in the next 10 to 12 months. I'll be honest with you. I know CEOs. I'll be honest. I would can your ass. I would can it. I wouldn't give a fuck. I've been here for 10 years since the development of the game. Who gives a fuck? You fucked up. We're losing money now. We're dependent on a microtransactions for sustaining because we can't expand anymore. Our retention's looking like shit. Why in the hell is this happening? Well, it's just the MMO market right now. It's this, it's that. No, I beg to differ. Because when usually players start leaving games, they look for replacement games. Why isn't ours a replacement game? Why? Well, that's performance issues. Once again, I understand it to a degree, but I completely disagree again. I disagree again. I think players don't want to play this game because you fed to the toxicity. Like, seriously, man. Get rid of it. Like, do something. Get the sets under control. Something. I think the companion is going to be good, but whatever. What's up, old friend? Hey, Storm. Yeah, this whole process, non-proc, is confusing me. Right. And, that's the whole thing. Is a lot of people, like, ZeniMax buries themselves with this shit. They opened up a can of worms. And I've said multiple times, man, why did they go there? It's one thing to have sets with 5-piece bonuses. Many games have done that. Rift, WoW, EverQuest 2. Tons of games have had set bonuses. So it's not a new concept. The problem of it is, every majority of this game's mechanics are centered around procs. So now we have a companion system being implemented, and people are complaining about not being able to equip their companions with procs. Holy fuck. Now, who dug that hole? Who dug it? That becomes my question. Who dug the hole? Not the players. Their expectation was set by the development team. And I love Matt. I do. I really do. I think he did an awesome job with Cyrodiil. I just would have been like, it might not be smart to come out with gimmicks to sell DLCs around procs. Holy fuck. And it's everywhere on the forums. Proc this, proc that, proc. Everybody's talking about procs. All the complaints about procs. Balancing procs. Procs. Now people want procs on companions. Shit balls, man. I'll be honest. I'm just going to be honest about it. Flipping. When I see the sales report, if it doesn't meet a projection, I'm firing people. I'm toasting people.
This one does not know, but he hopes his family is safe in Liverpool.
Especially if I'm Microsoft. I just got an acquisition. We have a chapter that comes out once a year. It sets the pace for the entire year. You bring in out two new systems, one world event that doesn't differ from every other portal in the game. So sure, people are going to enjoy it. They are awesome. But it's going to become too repetitive. Okay, that's a problem. Second, okay, we have a companion system, which is cool. Players can now, have companions, level them up. But they can't use the gear they acquire or craft. And now they're whining because they can't put procs on their companion. Why would they expect procs on their companion? Maybe because you guys have always put that shit in the game? Well, that's a problem. And while you're sitting back, watch the finger pointing from the development team. It was his idea. It was her idea. No, it was their idea. God. You can't afford to fuck this up. You can't afford to fuck this up. You have a new company behind the reins. And believe me, they don't give a shit about your excuses at the end of the day. You better get this shit right, man. You better. You better be on this shit. And PvP, not addressing any element to the PvP, man, I'm going to fire somebody just for principle for it. Okay, so we addressed every player base except the PvPers. Who's the PvP developer? We don't have one. Who is in charge of development team, you know, putting developers on teams? I am. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. Holy fuck. Better hope I'm wrong. You better hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Holy shit, I hope I'm wrong. Jeez, Jesus, I hope I'm wrong. You know what job security is? Getting it right the first time.
Comrade, a word. I can't.
I'm telling you, man. It's I don't know.
Armor dented. The ancient. Are you going?
Yeah, the proc system is a problem, Storm. It's a huge problem. It's a problem. I like the game. I like the procs. I feel like they work, but there's always adjustment. And then I read the forums and people are like, I can't craft gear for my companion. Okay, that sucks. That kind of sucks. It's lightweight sucky. Okay. Well, I can't use gear I acquire from my sets. Well, yeah, I guess that sucks too because, you know, it levels different. All right. I can't use procs. Now, that's just the dumbest excuse I have ever heard somebody ever fucking say in my goddamn life. Was anybody who's going to be like, I'm not going to be able to put any proc sets because it's not about PvP. They can't PvP with these things, but they want shields. They're like, well, this set offers shields, so I should be able to do that because I could use those. If he casts an ability and it procs, well, that's going to throw a shield on me. Okay, that might be a legitimate excuse, but it doesn't mean your companion should still have access to free abilities. But once again, so do players. It's a problem. I've been saying for years, stop with the gimmicks. Stop with the gimmicks. This is Elder Scrolls. It sells itself. It really does. The lore alone will sell the shit out of the title, you know? And you know who doesn't play? You know who a lot of players who don't play this title are? Elder Scroll fans. I'm like, oh, you like Elder Scrolls? Yeah, you play Elder Scrolls Online? No. Why? There's lore there. Yeah, but no. That's they cringe at it. And I'm like, and that to me makes me sad. I'm like, well, you know, there's a lot of really good things in the game. I'm an advocate for it because they do drop Easter eggs, all sorts of shit. I mean, there's a lot of really cool stuff here. Tons of stuff. The content's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, it really is. But then all of a sudden, you get their reasoning behind it. Look, I got these. I just kept them just in case. All of these. Oh my God, look at all these daggers. I just wanted to do that. But, yeah, no. I've literally had a poster say, I don't like this game in comparison to other Elder Scroll titles. I had a viewer say that. I can't blame them. Yes, there's lore here. Yes, there is lore here. There's great amount of lore. There's great content. They just put gimmick behind gimmick behind gimmick on stupid shit. I'm like, fuck. Fuck. I'm smashing my head against the wall. Fuck. So, you know, I think the server performance will get there, but I just don't think, Blackwood needs a lot more creatures in it. It's a beautiful land. The story's probably going to be amazing. More than likely. I have nothing but confidence. The Oblivion portals are great. They're great. They're an amazing, amazing experience. So I would tell anybody to get the chapter just based on, you know, the story that you're going to get. The trial, if you're a trial player, I mean, there's new things to get there. I wouldn't tell players to get the trial if you're not a healer. So, you know, if somebody was like, should I get it because I should get these sets? I'm like, that's up to you, dude, because honestly, I'm not sold. You know, I want the healing set. Are you a healer? No. Do you want the mount or anything? No. I bypass it. Fuck it. No. No, don't do it. The sets are shit. They're shit. They're shit. And that's how we view things in this game now. You know how we view things in this game? We view it based on what sets are coming out with the chapter. What's the mechanic behind the set? Instead of seeing a stat boost or stat adjustments, right? Or something that might not kind of have an alluring element to it, like flat stats, right? We see, what does the set do? That's what we ask ourselves. And be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Ask yourself, what's the selling point, right? What's the selling point when you're looking at a chapter? And if you literally can say the content, I applaud you, because I think this game has always delivered content. But if you honestly are going to be real and say, yeah, it's the sets, that's majority of the player base, and there's no shame in that. There's no shame in it, because what? Because we were conditioned to do it. Everybody was conditioned to do what? Ignore the content and get to the context. That's always been the problem. And what's that do now for every chapter or every DLC that comes out? Because if there's not a gimmick behind it, players don't want the content. They want the gimmick. Give me the gimmick. Give it to me. I don't give a shit about the content. I want the cheese. I want the cheese, please. Pass it this way.
But when have you ever known me to be wrong? Yes.
The devs need to stop.
A few more moments then.
Now they put themselves in a hole with all this power creeping and everything else, because who gives a shit? And I've said before, the art, the team that does the art, the team that does the story, the team that does this, that, amazing. The team who designs the sets, I'd have your ass on a skew time and time again. I was only doing my job. Then whoever told you to do it should be fired. And I'm not trying to point out or call people out. I'm just saying, it's ridiculous. And I'm going to be honest, if I was Microsoft, I'd be asking myself too, because this is not, DICE. Microsoft isn't DICE. Right? They're not. This is the company who originally had Halo before they released the reins to it. Even then, their expectations were insanely high. I tested for Microsoft in the past. They hold their titles and their IPs to heart. So believe you and me, if you fuck it up, You're gonna get fired. I already know it's a tank. He's got a clan fear. Probably a hybrid, though. Thank God for tanks. Yeah, it looks like he's a low-end hybrid. Just a taunt. Yep. Deal damage. No, it's whatever. I love this game. This was my favorite game for multiple reasons. And I've always said the only reason I left it was because of the gimmicks. Right? And what will kill this game is not addressing the gimmicks and the bullshit. People talk about the balance problems in PvP. It's because they never addressed the counterplay. They never addressed it. It's catching up. MMOs, listen. I have an entire projection sheet with over 100 hours into this market. Yeah, no shit. I can tell you what companies literally made how much in each year based on their title. Right? Because this is what I did. Now, what I'm trying to tell people is this. The average MMO lasts anywhere between 10 to 20 years. Depending. And the ones who don't make it as long, all fail for the same fucking reason. The same reason, literally. It's the same shit. Imbalance issues. And then there's always performance problems. Complaints in every game I've ever seen. Performance problems. I mean, think about it when it was dial-up, remember? Or when we didn't even have gigs. We were still measuring everything by megabytes, right? Right? Think about that. Think about this. And those games, you know, stood the test of time in comparison to a lot of their counterparts. The problem of it is, once again, games become dated. Yes, this is true too. But usually a loyal player base, even like World of Warcraft, will endure the most horrendous things because they've grown attached to the product. But sooner or later, they won't even stick around for that if the game is becoming too toxic or too gimmicky. And World of Warcraft now is suffering. Their last quarter looked like shit. They look like shit. And I've said that last year. I said, WoW is in a world of hurt. It's no longer the same game. It's no longer the same product. It's just no longer. Microsoft is securing the front on any form of tech when it comes to gaming. They're not in competition anymore with game development companies. They're no longer in competition. They don't need a monopoly. Basically, they're offering, their big thing now is service. That's what it is. They're making tons of money on service. That's where their future is. That's where Microsoft's future is. And if I was the development team, I would be ready.
Go.
I would be ready. You might be having to throw some people under the bus that you've liked for a lot of years. I'm hoping it doesn't come down to that, but...
Empress Regent.
Just ask yourself how much you love your job.
How can the Imperial Legion serve your highness?
General Valerius, I need you to spare me a regiment of your elite.
Aye. Of course.
I mean, having procs isn't a bad thing. When it gets grossly anticipated to sell your product based on its toxicity,
My spells
right?
reveal the rifts.
You kind of hose yourselves. Oh, this looks fun. No, it looks gross, and everybody's gonna buy that chapter. Oh, this looks nasty. Now think about this: if people is like, that doesn't, then all of a sudden they're like, I'll pass on the chapter. But it could have the best content, the best. That's what I like when I play an Elder Scrolls game. I don't like questing. I'll be honest with you. I like to play the main storylines though. And there's Easter eggs, or if I'm rummaging through something, like I'll pick up a book, I'll read the first paragraph of any book to see if there's an Easter egg hinting. And if there's an Easter egg hint, right? If there is, I want it, because why? You play other Elder Scroll titles. And if you play other Elder Scroll titles, you really want in on it, right? You want that Easter egg. Something bugged up. And I hope not. I hope everybody from the development team is there for the next 10 years. I honestly do. I'm just not gonna lie. I'm not. You know, I remember when me and John at SOE had head-to-head on a topic, and I was like, this fails. This fails. This fails. What you're going to do is going to be the death of your company. 5 years later, SOE got sold. So... Wow. Did everyone leave the room? Okay. Okay, there we go. There's nothing back here. It's bugged. I'm telling you, man. Okay. Go back now. Maybe. Let's hope. Anyways. Yeah, no, literally, I just hope that... I think the companion systems will be interesting, but I do think it's going to wear out. I just think it is. ZOS should have came out with skill lines. They should have. Because other than that new trial, what is there going to be for the PvE community besides the chapters? I mean the DLCs. Nothing. Oh, our instance is a bust. It's a bust. But think about this. I want you guys to think about it. Ask yourselves, what's the selling point for you for every DLC or every chapter? Ask yourselves, has these things... When players are expecting when players are expecting to put looted sets on their companions because of a mechanic, it's a telltale sign of the problem that you created, because they don't even appreciate the hard work that it went in to develop the AI for it. Holy shit. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. They don't appreciate what it took to make this happen, because they want that cheese with the meat. And now the hype goes down when they find out, well, fuck that then. Because you've sold gimmick after gimmick after gimmick. And that's what people expect now. Instead of quality, they expect the gimmick to be associated. I think Blackwood's going to do great. I think they need to increase the terrain, the mobs in the terrain. I think the story is going to be good. I feel the content's going to be good. I want to give a shout out to the developers who developed these companions, put in the hard work. But I'm not going to lie. If projections aren't met because of expectations behind previous development of these gimmicks, I would have somebody's head on a skew. The fact of it is that you didn't introduce a PvP element in a chapter deserves somebody's termination or resignation. That's a once a year thing. You address all of our target audience. That's what people are looking for. New content across the board. Crazy. Because there's so many men and women who work so hard on this beautiful product, and there's somebody or one or two or three people who are making piss poor decisions that's affecting an entire development team. Better start addressing it. And if I was those individuals, I would start asking myself, what the hell do we need to do to get this shit back in order? Because the CP system was long overdue, but it's still got a long way to go. This is a major problem. And I think it's a good step. I applaud them. And they've addressed the healing, because remember when I addressed it, I said the healing shit. It's shit. It's shit. But here's the problem. You're stacking critical modifiers against raising skill abilities. So what do you think most people are going to typically associate? There's more reward in here for them here than there is here. And same thing with the scaling system that we've had so many problems with. I think it's a step in the right direction. I think Brian's onto something. So I think, but there needs to be more, and they need to quit rewarding stacked effects if they anticipate people to have more diversity to the new CP system. Because if you're not going to scale or reward for, allocation without associated scaling that's already present in passives and group mechanics, then you're hosing yourself further. Food for thought. Once again, thank you guys. I'm Mr. Craven. This is Mystics MMOs. Have a good one.